break. Glad you're still watching Science Breakfast with me, Alan Habert, and sign language interpreter is Esther Kendi. Now, we started off with KCCB chairman slams leaders for disobeying court orders. And the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops is accusing the government of disregarding court orders, saying the recent political rhetoric against the judiciary is a recipe for lawlessness and anarchy. Here is the leader of the KCCB speaking to the media. Watch.
BC kama awapo hatuwezi kuappoint commissioners, so tungependa kwamba ichukuliwe kama jambo dhati, jambo muhimu, jambo la kuwekwa maanani, ili kwamba tusije tukaponyoka tuingie katika hali ya vita ndani kwa ndani. Inawezekana kwa sababu ya kukosa wale referees, the right referees wakati kama uchaguzi.
And owner of Embakasi gas plant, 3 others are suspects arraigned in Nairobi. Nairobi Senior Principal Magistrate Dolphina Alego will on Wednesday issue a ruling on whether to detain 4 suspects in the Embakasi gas explosion case for 21 days or release them on bail. Here are the details.
There are a lot of debris around, and the process of processing is still ongoing. And there might be likelihood of recovering more bodies. Your Honor, beside the injured persons, there was also massive damage to property.
None of them is at flight risk. These are public officers with good jobs, I must say. And they are Kenyans. And if at all there is a suggestion that they might, the court can quickly make an order which we agree to, that they deposit their passports.
Kama kuna biashara kama hii inaendelea kwako na hujasema, wewe pia utajibu. Kote Nairobi we know where such operations should be. List imepatikana leo na zifunga zote ambazo ziko kwa maestri za watu.
And away from that now to what says a government should compensate Embakasi fire victims. Now, as Azimio leader Raila Odinga wants Embakasi fire victims compensated by the national government and has called on the relevant authorities to charge officials who neglected their duty. Now, speaking while visiting the victims in hospital, Odinga has called on the government to allocate already affordable houses to those displaced in the tragedy. Here are the full details of this report.
Watu wengi wamelala kwa kazi, wamelala kazini, wanangorota na wananchi wako kwa hatari. Kwa hao wote natakana wachukuliwe hatua vikali. Kama ingekuwa ni serikali ya Azimio, mambo ingekuwa tofauti sana. Hii ni kusema jamaa yenyewe alipanga maafa ya watu hapa. Kitendo kama hichi mpaka ilaniwe vikali. Kuna viungo vya serikali ambao wamepewa jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba maisha ya binadamu imeangaliwa.
Baba, hata mimi pamoja na wana Embakasi East tumepeleka mwenye hii kampuni kotini, na tena tukapeleka county kotini, na tena tukapeleka EPRA kotini. Tunataka wa compensate our ma victims wote.
Mimi naambia Bwana Ruto, wewe mwenyewe ni rais, angalia hii maneno, hakikisha kwamba kila jamii hapa imepata shilingi 1500. Alafu hawa jamaa kwa sababu manyumba zao zimechomeka, zile affordable houses ambazo ziko tayari wapelekwe pale. Umeelewana vizuri? Umeelewana vizuri?
Alafu mwingine anakuja kutuambia na ako na pesa yetu ya disaster. Mtu amechukua pesa ya disaster anatuambia tuchukue shilingi 10,000. Sakaja, mimi nataka kukurudishia wewe hiyo pesa ambayo ulitoa. Hiyo 280,000. Hiyo pesa Governor Sakaja, ofisi yangu iko KICC, That 280,000 shillings unataka kufunga nayo watu wa mradi macho. Kuja kwa ofisi yangu nitakutumia hata kwa simu. Hiyo inatosha hata kwa M-Pesa.
Away from that, now to Parliament, a budget office says affordable housing may not benefit the poor. Now, the Parliamentary Budget Office is now warning that the intended beneficiaries of the government's affordable housing program may be locked out, as over 70% of those targeted are classified as middle and low income earners. Here is a report on those demeaning revelations by the Finance Committee.
One example is somebody who is working for as a bus driver and earning over 30,000 or 50,000, and yet there is a watchman who is formally employed, earning 15,000 and is being levied vis-a-vis that one who is, all those issues were raised by the public, and I believe that we're going to look into all of them so that we also balance. We had a law which was done through the finance bill, and which became an act of parliament, of course, that any money collected for this or towards housing should only be used, and it was a shall only be used in housing and nothing else. That law is still in place, has not been suspended. So we want to enhance it, and we are going to enhance it in this particular bill that we are proposing now. One example is
now to Lands Commission warns of national government counties ownership conflict. And National Lands Commission Chairman Gashon Otachi has warned of a possible ownership conflict between the national government and county governments over land acquired to construct affordable houses. Now, while making submissions to the Joint National Assembly Committees of Housing and Finance, Otachi revealed that there are serious gaps in the acquisition of county-owned land. Here are the full details.
What happens when you have county government land that has been reserved for affordable housing, but this fund that is being set up is actually a national government fund? How is it that the national government fund is going to be used to put up housing on county government land, and how would that relationship be managed? Of course, it's still public land. We were not involved as such in terms of the drafting of the bill. It seemed to me that it was focusing more on the financing aspect rather than the land aspect. But if it's a view of the committee that the land aspect will be dealt with, it may make sense to have some sort of clarity. County governments have their own structures. They have elected members, MCAs, they have governors and so on. So the choices they make really will be on them. But then the other thing I also don't know is the level of involvement of the counties to this bill from that perspective. But they keep raising those questions about once they give out land, what benefits do they get? So I do not have obvious answers to those questions.
How will it be if another president comes and rubbishes the whole process of affordable housing program and claim that maybe the allocation of land was not done correctly or it was not done in accordance with the Constitution? How will the interest of those people who would have bought land or bought the houses at that particular time be taken care of?
And away from those pertinent questions, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're coming back with stories that are making headlines in the dailies. Keep it silent and we'll be back after the break.